dementia. Dementia is an illness. It's an illness that can happen to old people when they get older, but it doesn't affect everybody. And the biggest thing about dementia is it does affect your memory, but we all forget things, don't we? I told you this morning, I keep my glasses on top of my head because if I put them down, then I will never see them again because I'll forget where they are. So, but I haven't got dementia, at least I don't think so. But it doesn't affect everybody. Everybody can get it, but not everybody does get it. So dementia is when parts of the brain don't work as well as they used to. So people start to notice that we're doing odd things and the brain isn't sending the messages that it needs to send. There's several different types of dementia, but the one we talk about the most is Alzheimer's dementia. Has everybody heard about Alzheimer's dementia?
Yeah.
Yeah. What does our brain actually do for us?
It's like a computer system.
It's like a computer system, absolutely. Yeah, it's the best way to describe it, isn't it?
Wow.
Because it helps our body do everything we need it to do. So it helps our heart work and it helps everything else. And we're going to look at some pictures now about how our brain makes our bodies do things. So it helps us to remember things. Things that we need to remember have to go into our brain and be stored there. And then when we're trying to remember the name of that song that we've all been singing, the brain says, that's what it is, we know. It tells my legs that they need to walk, that I need to get to Lucy, or I need to come back to my chair. But without my brain, my legs wouldn't know what to do. It tells me that I need to talk to you so that I can make you understand what it is we're trying to tell you. It tells us how to eat. So when Lucy wants a bit more chocolate mousse, because this is her fourth pot of the day, it says you have to get your spoon, Lucy, and dip it in the chocolate mousse, then put it in the mouth and swallow it down. I know. So the brain is telling Lucy that's what she needs to do if she wants to enjoy that chocolate mousse. It tells us when we need to get dressed and how we need to get dressed and what we need to do. So when Lucy wants to go shopping and needs to put her coat on, it says you have to put it on your back and put your arms through and then pull it forward and do all those things. We don't really know our brain is telling us that, but that's actually what it is doing. But when we have dementia, those sort of things get a little bit confused and a little bit mixed up. So Lucy wants her yogurt, but she's forgotten that she needs to use a spoon. She wants to eat it, but doesn't know how. So she might do odd things like use her fingers. And if she wants to go out shopping and put her coat on, she may not get the coat on the right way around. So it's sometimes, because Lucy's now put it on the wrong way, sometimes we have to say, let me help you, Lucy. So they can still do the same thing, but we might have to help Lucy to put the coat on the correct way, so that she can still help, she can still do all the things that she wanted to do before. But the brain isn't giving Lucy the right messages, so things are getting a little bit mixed up. It might make us forget where we need to be and what we need to do when we get there. So Lucy used to go on the bus every day to college, and she used to be able to get off outside the college and go to college. And this is Lucy on the bus, and she's having a really nice time, and then the college comes and the stop comes. Lucy,
Yes,
time to get off now. The college is just along the way.
Thank you, thanks.
Okay. Lucy,
Thanks,
Lucy,
yes.
put your back.
Oh.
And that, we need to help people with dementia because they can't remember things. Thank you very much. Thank you. And so we might need to help Lucy like that, to pick her bag up and remind her where she needs to get off. So with a little bit of help, we can still let Lucy do all the things that she likes to do.
Yeah.
Sometimes a person might start getting up in the middle of the night and getting dressed. Now, we all know people who get up in the middle of the night, I'm sure, and wander around and crash on doors and make cups of tea and do all sorts of things. But if they've always done that, then that's okay. Well, sort of. But if they didn't used to do that, and they started to do that, then that might be a sign that there's something happening in their memory, in their brain, that it's not working properly. So we might have to help them. Because when they've gone to bed and they've had a sleep, and they wake up 10 minutes later, they may think they've been in bed all night. And it still might only be 11 o'clock. So we have to perhaps give them a cup of tea and pop them back into bed.
Excuse me, what was your name?
My name is Kay. Sometimes people that you've known a really long time might forget your name. They might smile at you and maybe still know who you are, but they may well not be able to remember what your name is, and that's really very frightening for them.
Sorry, excuse me. What was your name again?
My name is Kay.
Kay.
Okay.
Yes, Kay. But it's scary when you can't remember words, isn't it? And sometimes when your brain isn't working properly and you can't remember the words that you need to use, it's a pretty frightening place in this world because you have people around you who you don't know anymore. And so sometimes people get angry because they can't think of the words. And Lucy is angry now because she can't remember what she's doing. And sometimes when you can't remember things, it's frightening. And so you might get really, really frightened. Why frightened face? That's Lucy's frightened face. And sometimes because Lucy's forgotten that she's had 18 apples that day, she might get a pain. But because people with dementia can't find those words, pain, fear, angry, they may start to get cross, they may start to kick doors or do anything that they can do to get your attention and try and make you understand. But it's a really very frightening world for them. Sometimes the person just wanders round and they don't appear to know where they're going or what they're doing and why they need to be there. Lucy, where are you going?
I can't remember.
Oh, well, I tell you what, you come with me, and if you wait here until I've finished,
Okay.
and I'll make you a nice cup of tea.
Okay, lovely.
Is that all right?
Thank you.
Yeah. And sometimes when people have dementia, a nice cup of tea does the trick. And they might keep asking the same question over and over again.
I'm sorry, what was your name?
My name is Kay.
Kay.
Why might somebody ask the same question over and over again?
Because they've forgotten it already.
He does that.
Yeah. Sometimes they forget that they've asked you the question in the first place, and sometimes they just forget what you said. So Lucy keeps asking me.
What was your name again?
My name is Kay.
Kay.
So it's not being difficult, they just can't remember. And when you can't remember things, you get frightened. And so sometimes people might have a little cry. Sometimes it's because of something that's happening around them they can't make sense of, they don't understand. But sometimes it's just because they're sad and they might not know why they're sad. The person might get slower at doing things, so they might still be able to use a knife and fork or a green spoon, but actually it might be a bit more slow. So it's about letting people do things at their pace. One of the really, really important things that we can do is to be calm around them and make sure that when they're in a room, the room is calm. Do you think that's a nice place to be? Yeah? That's nice and calm, isn't it? You don't have to be on your own there as long as people aren't chattering to you the whole time. So that's quite nice. So that's lovely calm and they've got their feet up and they're going to have a nice cup of tea. What about that room? Do you think that room is calm? No? Why isn't that room
No,
calm
it's
then?
noisy.
Noisy.
Got
but
radio,
dog
televisions,
barking, TV
shouting.
on, music on that loud.
Would you want to be in that room if you didn't feel very well?
No.
No?
Need to be in a quiet room.
A nice and relaxed room.
really.
Calm. Sometimes looking at old photographs, because when you lose your memory, when your memory starts to be affected, you lose the new memories, but you remember things really well that happened a very long time ago. So sometimes looking at old photographs and talking to people about what's in those photographs is really helpful, and people really like to do that. We've already said listening to music, haven't we?
Yeah.
But it's really important that if you're going to put music on, that you put on music that you know that person likes, not that you like.
No.
Yeah? So if it was Kathy, we wouldn't put opera on for Kathy because Kathy doesn't like opera.
Rave music
And you wouldn't put ABBA on if it was me.
or rave.
Or rave. Oh, well, I don't know. Some people might like rave, but it wouldn't be relaxing, I suppose
No.
you're right. Yeah. Some people just like to sit quietly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And perhaps sit with them and just sit and chill. You don't have to be doing anything or saying anything. What about shouting at somebody? If they get doing something wrong because their memory is not so good, do you think shouting at them helps?
Makes them more agitated.
Excuse me.
Yes, Lucy.
What was your name?
My name is Kay. Be calm. And don't argue with people because
Oh, really?
they don't understand what's going on right now. It's really hard for them because their memory, they don't remember what it is you're wanting them to do. So speaking slowly and staying calm. So we've nearly finished. We've said that dementia is an illness. Some people get it, some people don't. We all forget things. It doesn't mean we have dementia, so we haven't got to worry about it all the time. It causes people to have problems doing things that they've always been able to do. So if they've done something well and they stop doing it so well, that's when we're worried. But it doesn't affect everyone. If you have concerns about how you're forgetting things, or one of your friends is forgetting things, it's always good to talk to someone. There's a memory assessment pathway in Gloucestershire for people over 35. And so we screen people, with Down syndrome particularly, over the age of 35.